This program has been 5 months in the making, so I'm glad we are here today. I find this topic incredibly timely, and I hope you will too. The topic today that we're going to talk about is demystifying artificial intelligence and machine learning, and things you should know about its impact in today's world. Have you ever worried that your smartphone is smarter than you? Wouldn't it be great if machines could make certain decisions for us? And finally, have you ever seriously thought that the Terminator could take over the world? If you answered yes, you're in the right place. If you answered no, you are in serious denial. Our speaker today is going to help us understand the revolutionary evolution of artificial intelligence, machine learning, deep learning, and its impact on us. He is an active investor, an advisor and board member to many successful startups, a true technologist. He's a hacker at heart, always looking for easier, better, and more efficient ways to solve business challenges. Please welcome all the way from Henrico, Virginia, founder and CEO of RTS Labs, speaker and data geek, and yes, an above-average pickleball player, Jyot. Okay, take that. Start one.
So Jeff, that was so last month. I'm now a better pickleball player. Thank you. Okay. Well, Jeff, thank you very much, and super excited to be here, guys. Couldn't be a better time, as Jeff said. First of all, can everyone see the screen here?
Turn lights.
Because I think
over here.
it is a lot of visual, and I want to make sure.
George, turn the bar. Thank you.
Perfect.
Is that good? Keep going.
Keep going. Yeah. All I think.
Better?
We got these off.
Just kill it.
Kill it all the way.
Kill it over.
Well, thank you. All right. Yeah, okay, so technical difficulty resolved. Okay, so I think a lot of good visuals, and I wanted to make sure you guys see it. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. So I'm super excited here. Again, thank you for giving me the opportunity to come in and talk to you guys. So, unless you guys are living in a cave, by now you must have heard about all the things that are going on with artificial intelligence, or AI for short. For example, AI is going to take away all your jobs. AI is going to kill us all. AI is smarter than us. And all the buzzword around, such as deep learning, there you go, deep learning, data science, machine learning, neural networks, and the future of AI. And many, many other things that you possibly even I don't know. And you're here sitting, well, let that sink in. So, AI is here to stay. We know AI is important. The good news is, even the experts don't agree on what the future of AI is going to look like. And so that's a bit of good news. The bad news is AI is here to stay. And whenever I'm in dilemma and I'm confused about all the things around AI, I always look up to futurists and visionaries like Jeff Bezos from Amazon and see what he has to say on artificial intelligence. He's saying that even I, looking at 10, 20 years from now, can't predict what AI is going to be doing for the future of this world. So if Mr. Jeff doesn't know, who else can we look up to? Elon Musk. Elon is saying, well, if you read it, what he's saying is AI might create a World War III. Now, I'm not going to, it's a pretty bold statement, I'm not going to read too much into what he's saying, but what he's saying is that AI has the potential to create big impact on the world. When I was looking for some quotes on artificial intelligence and the impact, I came across Mark Zuckerberg's quote, which I thought was pretty timely, with Cambridge Analytica and artificial intelligence and the Facebook data stuff that happened. And again, I'm not going to go into too much detail on that. It's a sensitive topic. I thought he said that in July of 2017. I thought it was pretty timely, considering just 6 or 9 months later, we had all this controversy happening on Facebook data and Cambridge Analytica misusing that data. So we now know AI is important. I think for us, it's better we understand what AI is. So let's start by defining what artificial intelligence or AI is. So AI is not a new term. AI as a term was coined back in 1956 by a professor from Dartmouth. And what he said was, anytime a machine is showing cognitive skills such as speech recognition, pattern matching, decision making, we call that machine or a software or a computer program as intelligent. And that is where the term AI came from. So why AI is getting so popular now? It's been more than 50 years. Why is it getting so popular? The term or the technology that is driving the adoption of AI is called as machine learning. And that is what we're going to talk about. But before I explain what machine learning is, we have to understand how us humans understand and learn, and how different it is from how computers learn and understand things. As we all know, when we're a kid, we learn from experience. We look at a cat, we look at a dog, and we know how they behave, what the patterns are, what the attributes of those animals are, and we're able to differentiate between a cat and a dog. A software, on the other hand, is dumb. When I say software and computers, I'm interchangeably using them. Essentially, it's a computer machine. So computers are dumb. We as humans tell them what to do. So if I tell a computer to, hey, take this picture of a cat or a dog, there's no way they will understand what cat and dog is. Unless a computer programmer goes in and writes a lot of if-else conditions. If it purrs, if it's a long tail, it's a cat. If it barks, it's a dog. So they have to write a computer software to make that happen. And that is what is machine learning changing for us. Machine learning is allowing us, or computers, to learn from their own experiences. In other words, they can learn from the patterns that is hiding between the data. So as the CEO of NVIDIA, which is at the forefront of artificial intelligence, it's saying, essentially what is happening with machine learning, you have a software that is writing a software. Now that's big. So let's try to understand the difference between artificial intelligence and machine learning, because almost every time when Jeff reached out to me, he said, hey, I think you should come and present on machine learning. And I said, do you mean AI? So there were a lot of disconnect of what AI is and what machine learning is. So the way I see machine learning and AI, they all belong to computer science as a stream. But machine learning is a small tool within the toolbox of artificial intelligence. In other words, AI is the symphony, and machine learning is an instrument within that symphony. So you might be thinking, well, machine learning is great. You understand machine learning. By now, you also understand what AI is. So why is machine learning being a good technology? It's making all this, bringing all this artificial intelligence to life. And the reason lies, there are 3 reasons mainly, but the number 1 reason lies in your pocket. We all have smartphones. And it's producing data at an insane amount of speed. We go out, we have Fitbits. We have our intelligent cars that are taking pictures, and IoT devices that are taking pictures, videos, and so on and so forth. In fact, in just last 2 years, we have produced 90% of world's data. That's huge. So why is data that important? Well, for machine learning to get smarter and bigger, it needs to eat food, and food in machine learning's world is data, and that is what is feeding off. The second reason why we are able to harness the power of machine learning is because we now have fast processors, chips that are, and computers programmed that can process large amount of data sets. And that is the second reason why machine learning and AI are getting adopted and getting traction that we see now. The third reason is that the venture capitalists and private equity groups are pumping a lot of money. And I think this is very important for us as the business owners here to understand why this is gaining so much traction. They see the potential. They see that AI is a big deal. I think there are more than 300 startups in last 6 months that are all powered by artificial intelligence and machine learning. So that is the future. Let's talk about what is happening today in many, many industries that are being disrupted by artificial intelligence. The number one that we all know is transportation. Analysts are predicting that it's going to be a $10 trillion disruption within the transportation industry with the use of self-driving cars and self-driving fleets. So when you think about self-driving cars, the first thing that should come to your mind is self-driving cars are nothing but a product of artificial intelligence. So when a Tesla is driving, this is how it looks like. It looks, all the sensors, all the cameras in all around the car is real time looking at the video, analyzing the picture, and making a decision instantaneously. That's powerful, and that's why Tesla is making so much traction, is gaining so much momentum and traction. So let's look at another industry being disrupted, called as healthcare. The future is with our capability of analyzing pictures and x-rays and CT scans, radiologist's job might be in danger. I mean, we would not have to need a doctor to analyze a cancer cell. We can just have a machine look at this, consume it, and give you that this might be a cancer cell or not, based on the patterns and the modeling that they've been programmed with. The future is that eventually in the next 2-3 years, not too long down the road, we might have robots performing surgery on us. It's a pretty big deal, and it's already happening in pilots in many places. Financial services. So the machines are looking at your buying patterns, looking at what you buy, and based on that, when you use a credit card, and based on that, they analyze if there's a fraud that's about to happen, or the transaction that was recently introduced, is that a scam, or so on and so forth. And it's being widely used within the financial industry. Prediction about what stock will go up and what stock will go down, all done using artificial intelligence tool. So the other industry that is being disrupted big time is business, consumer, and marketing, all combined. Alexa, Siri, Roomba in your house, spam filters that you have in your Gmail, product recommendations by Amazon, Google ads that show up. They don't show up magically. They're all big machines running behind the scenes, churning so much data, and that's why you see ad on Facebook, on Google. All that stuff is powered by AI. As I touched briefly in an earlier slide, almost $5 billion have been invested in the startups that are all related to AI. It's here to stay, guys. Gartner believes 85% of consumer interactions are going to be done by AI-powered devices, or robots, or bots, or anything that is of that kind of nature. And that will displace some jobs. And I know the million-dollar question that you guys are thinking about, will AI going to replace me? The short answer, I will come to that one. But before you do that, you have to read what Dilbert has to say. I know some folks in the background may not be able to see it. So what Dilbert is saying, what the AI-powered robot is saying to the boss, I wonder those jobs I will take first. And the boss says, you could never do my job. And he says, I'm doing it right now. And the boss says, well, you're not doing anything. That's right. So that is what AI is done. So when I say AI is going to take away your job, yes, some jobs will go away. And some jobs that are honestly humans should not be doing. I believe customer service, most of the stuff within customer service, can be automated to a point where 90% of the interaction can be done by bots, and eventually when you need some help, it can be done by humans. What Wall Street Journal is saying is that, simply put, jobs that robots can replace are not good jobs in the first place anyway. We, being in the top of the food chain, we should be doing things that our brains, being very smart, are designed to do. So going back to the million-dollar question, will the jobs go away? Yes. As I said, there will be transition, and there will be a lot of unsettling. But in the end, it's going to be good. Personally, I believe this is the most exciting time in the history of technology. I'm always an optimist, and I always have been an optimist. With a positive attitude and with a good education system, I think we can do it. We've done that with 3 other revolutions. AI is touted as the 4th industrial revolution. If you have done that in the past and we survived and thrived, there's no reason why we won't be able to do it. With that, whenever you see a Terminator, don't think of it as an AI. AI is our friend, not enemy. With that, please know my email is jyot.singh. I know you have a million questions, which I'm going to be asking, which I'm going to be addressing, hopefully. Please do connect me with on LinkedIn. I post some very, very good, well, at least I feel I post a lot of good things. Please do connect me with on LinkedIn, and if you feel any questions that we're not able to address in this presentation, I will take those questions via email. Happy to do it. So with that, I'll open the floor with questions. Only one. Okay. Well, before I answer that question, let me ask you all a question. What do you guys think about Facebook and Cambridge Analytica controversy? How many of you know what is happening there? Oh man, everyone knows. That's awesome. Since I know Randy, he gets a preferential treatment. Yeah. Randy, you want to share a little bit of what's going on with Cambridge and Facebook?
Well, my daughter works at Facebook, so I have
That's an unfair advantage to you.
My understanding is that Facebook has a contract with users that they supply data to, that the data will be used for a specific purpose, and that's it. And Cambridge Analytica extended beyond that and basically violated their contract with Facebook.
Correct. So my understanding, I'll take it a little bit a step further. When I was watching all the hearing of Mark Zuckerberg, all the senators and when they're asking him the question, all they're saying is, so what exactly you do, right? I mean, I think that was the whole intent of, so tell us how Facebook works. The intent is, when you're using the platform, when you're posting anything, they mine that data and using artificial intelligence show you ads. The same ads can be used for right purposes and also for the wrong purposes. And I think in that particular case, it was misused. Now, if Facebook was using it, fine. I think where the controversy became is because it was handed to a third party. So that was. I know we have some questions in the back.
Yeah, so.
Elon Musk today announced that he was cutting back the production line for the Model 3 because he wasn't happy with the automation. He said there are things people need to do, and I'm going to put them back doing their job. So what do you say about that?
So I think you can't. So there's a level of automation. I think, in my opinion, what he has done within a car is pretty remarkable. I think the technology or the artificial intelligence and things that he's doing within a car is pretty remarkable. Where he's missing out on is the business side, where the supply chain, all that stuff. I don't think he has put in enough effort or the time, which I believe he doesn't have that much, into making the factory productive, using his own concept of automation. I think that is where he's struggling. But in the next 2-3 years, I think once he catches up, putting humans and then eventually replacing humans with automation, I think he'll be where he's trying to get to.
Given yesterday's glitches with the Internal Revenue Service and people's having trouble filing, what kind of advice would you give the IRS?
So with IRS, you mean?
Yes.
That's a very good question.
Refunds?
I think IRS is, as we all know, it's a government agency. It has a lot of red tape, and I think it has a lot of catching up to do. So if I'm running IRS, right, what I would do is if I can bring in some automation in terms of fraud, risk, and some rules that can be automated a whole lot more than what we have today by putting humans, I think that probably would be my approach. Now, with a glitch, I think whenever you have a combination of humans and technology together, there's always going to be glitch. Unless we go completely off of, for 90% of the thing, if it's all done using software, I think it'll be good. But if you look at any pattern, the glitches and all, it's mostly driven by humans. I'm not saying we're the one creating it, right? But we're also the one, finding the holes and manipulating it for our purposes. So I think it's a sensitive subject. So I don't think I'm qualified to answer that kind of detailed question, but that is what I think.
I have a question, and it's not to do with AI, but could you
He always
put
stopped
your
inside.
finger on a business that's going to be completely wiped out as a result of AI?
AI. So I think I touched briefly on customer support. I'll give you a very good example, something that we're doing it with one of our customers. When you apply for a mortgage loan, a reviewer sits there and reviews every single document. And it's such a painstaking process. And I just closed on a vacation house, I think 2 weeks ago. I had this much paper that I had to sign. Think about that paper that needs to be reviewed by attorneys or by the mortgage people. It's brutal. I don't see any human. I would rather work in McDonald's than doing reviews on those paper. And one glitch may lead to my losing my job, right? So think about that's a perfect way I think automation can bring you with using AI, where it sucks up all the documents and then makes a decision, okay, well, out of 1,000 documents that you need to review today, you only now have to review one, right? So I think that probably kind of work that may go away fully.
With the artificial intelligence as well as the learning part of that, where does value judgment come into play? Because of the whole, I think that's where most people have their fear, is that if you have an artificial intelligence making a value judgment, who places that value in the...
Very, very good question. So the value judgment part is a tricky part. If you understand, AI is designed so using machine learning, deep learning, which I, because of the time, I did not cover that one. There's another topic within machine learning that's very important. Using deep learning, the goal for all these tools is to predict certain things. And when you're predicting, even with that example that I showed you with the car taking pictures real time, right? It's still predicting stuff that is no way it's 100% accurate. So they're saying, I'm 99 or 97% sure it's a car, right? So when you talk about judgment, as the example that I just gave with the application, you don't have to go all the way to 100%. You only have to do few things as a humans. But 90%, 97% of, 98% of will be predicted by the machines or the AI.
But when you have to choose between hitting the baby carriage or the 90-year-old lady, who makes that judgment?
That's philosophy.
I think that's... Yeah, I know it. It's death by any means, so that's a good question.
So how does America stand on the international stage in terms of leading in artificial intelligence versus China and India and maybe some other countries?
Excellent question. And I think I've been thinking about it when I was doing this presentation. I thought about it. I came from India, where I hated the education system there. I came here and I loved what I saw. But since both of my kids are going to a public school, that is the only reason. If we don't improve, well, let me take it back. So the reason or the way we can be competitive with artificial intelligence and the new type of jobs that will be coming down the road by updating or upgrading our education systems. That's the single most reason. There's no other reason anyone who's telling you something else other than that, oh, we need to fund more money, we have to do this, we have to. No, it's only education system is something that needs to be upgraded to the levels, not of India, but overall. Because the jobs that now will be dismantling, I mean, some of the jobs will go away. We want our workforce down the road to be ready for that kind of job that will come from AI, where you don't have to read through a newspaper, you don't have to sit in a line on McDonald's and putting fries and all that stuff. It will all be automated through AI. So I strongly believe education system being updated is going to be the number reason that will force us to be more competitive.
Being a kid of the 80s, thinking of Robocop, do you envision a time where police forces will have, for lack of a better term, Robocops that can do the mundane tasks, traffic violations, things of that nature, 10, 20 years ago?
Absolutely. I don't see any reason why it won't. And to be honest with you, it's already happening. So think about it. I think there were a couple of incidents where they look at the social media post, they mine that data and predicted that someone is about to shoot someone. Now, they got in trouble because they were not proactive enough. So if you have that kind of intelligence built in, I think you can prevent the crime from happening before it happens. So yes, you can prevent it from happening. However, I don't see a Robocop coming in like the way we saw in the movies and all. I don't see that happening anytime soon. I think what will happen is, the prediction of based on your data that you have produced or your cell phone records or whatever, they will be able to stop the crime from happening. Very similar to Minority Reports. I think that is what the future is going to be. And but I mean, I don't think robots are going to be arresting us and so on and so forth. So,
Thank you.